Hey guys, welcome back. Scott's Low Budget Projects. We are doing a part 2 of the first video. I believe I ran out of video time, and due to some camera fumbling and stuff, that could have messed with it too. Anyway, I was talking about in the previous video about the areas that the two-wheel drive Landroid Vision Cloud cannot mow, or does not mow easily. And in a rough yard like mine, this is a absolute issue. This is also why I went and purchased the four-wheel drive model, which will accommodate you in most circumstances. It does not do absolutely everything, but it'll do a fair good amount more than the two-wheel drive model will. Anyway, we're talking about the road ditch in front of the house here. This is a county road right in front of my house. Again, that's rental property. I don't own this property. I just rent it from the landlord. And I am in charge of mowing the grass. Due to the decent rent price, I won't complain. And it's also part of why I'm able to afford to buy these mowers, because I'm not paying a crap ton for rent. So, with that said, anyway, I'm talking about this area here where the gravel from the road ends up into the ditch here. And that causes problems. It causes washouts. It causes uneven areas. And the two-wheel drive Landroid mower, albeit fairly capable, cannot mow super great in areas where there's a giant... I mean, shoot, there's like a curb difference here between where the grass is and then where the washout is, where the gravel kind of washed away the dirt and soil, went down the ditch that way. This area here, I set it up as a no zone or no mow zone, which if you look on the Landroid app, assuming you're familiar with it, or if you're not familiar with it, it's essentially highlighted in orange. You drive the mower around to tell it where not to mow. And you can also do like a what do you want to call it? Like I said, Microsoft Paint kind of thing. You can make a square and, rectangle, whatever, and mark the area off on the map to tell it not to mow there, which is what I ended up doing, because trying to drive it through here, it would end up getting stuck and just cause more problems. It's not that I couldn't drive it through here. I would just kind of have to end up helping it, like kind of push it and stuff, which is kind of a pain, and it was just easier to do it that way. Anyway, I told that mower not to mow over here, the two-wheel drive one. The four-wheel drive one, however, I took a chance and told it to come over here and mow, and it does a pretty good job. Anyway, with that said, the two-wheel drive mower definitely has its limitations. Hopefully, for all you people that are interested, and say you have a little less complex of a yard. This is a good example of what the two-wheel drive WR320.1, I believe, model that I have, the two-wheel drive model I have, will do. This is perfect for that mower. The trees, it doesn't like so much, but any big open area like this, it will mow it just fine. It doesn't complain about it. It does a nice job. And as you can see, there's some brown spots, some bare spots, but it doesn't care so much, which like I said, I'm quite impressed with the ability of this mower. I mean, it mows it all the way up, and then you can see its limitations. It can't do everything, so if you're expecting it to be the next best thing, you will still have to trim with a weed eater, or if you got a wheeled mower or whatever. It doesn't do everything. There's tall grass around here. This is the porch. I don't ever use this porch. This is the back. It's almost essentially the back side of the house, because I never go in this way. But anyway, yeah, you can see that kind of the tall overgrown grass around the edge here. There used to be plants and stuff here at one point, but I'm not a gardener, and don't really care about flowers and stuff, so it is what it is. I live by myself, so no wife, no girlfriend, so no hobbies to plant flowers. We'll go with that. So anyway, there are ways to avoid that sort of stuff if you want to set up barriers to tell it not to mow there. This one is set up that way. It just strictly avoids... I can show you. It's an old brick. They buried a bunch of bricks around the edging. It's kind of hard to see because it's over. Basically everywhere where there's tall grass, it's either the flower bed or the outside of the edge where the bricks are. There's essentially just old clay bricks going around the edge of the building, essentially. And it tells it not to mow. I told it not to mow there, because if it gets hung up on it, then it has all kinds of problems. So, with that said, should you buy this mower? Most people, as long as you don't have a very complicated yard, this mower will work perfectly fine for you. You do have to do some tweaking. You do have to do some experimenting. It's never going to work right on the first try unless you have a very simple yard. But I will say overall, it's a pretty good experience. don't expect it to mow fast. That's the big takeaway from this. If you're expecting this to mow in 20 minutes or an hour like you do on your actual rider or push mower, lower your expectations. It is not going to do that. Everything it does is going to take significantly longer. The biggest I guess pro of it is you're not out there doing it yourself. It is doing it for you. And that is how you need to look at this style of mower. Any of them. It's not just the Worx brand, but it's pretty much any of them. It'll do it, but it will not do it fast. So this is just going to be a little short end cap off to the first video. Unfortunately, like I said, the other video kind of timed itself out. I don't know exactly why. Maybe the app crashed. I'm not sure. But needless to say, here I am, part 2. Maybe I'll try to edit it into one video. And we will continue from there. Next video coming up will be about the 4-wheel drive mower. Probably going to be a lot of repetitious content on that video. I talked quite a bit about it in this video, obviously. So for those of you that don't want to watch a whole nother video on it, all I can say is, in short, 4-wheel drive mower is better. Is it perfect? No. Is it worse than the 2-wheel drive mower? Absolutely not. But there are limitations to each and every robot mower. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have questions, feel free to ask me about these mowers. I know a little bit about them. I'm not an expert. You can always reach out to Worx. They seem to be pretty helpful. They're not really quick to get back to you, but they're pretty helpful. I did, unfortunately, had to find out the hard way from them that the half-acre limit is a hard limit, and there is no way to update the software or change the software, even if you pay for it. They claim it is a integrated software that is not serviceable. In other words, they want you to buy the next bigger model. And the other thing is, if you're able to do so, and I strongly recommend this, if you're unsure how big your yard is, find some sort of mapping app of acreage and walk your yard or something like that. So you're not like me and buy something that isn't quite up to the task of doing your whole yard. So with that said, thanks guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.